Hello everybody, and welcome back to another one of my random update videos, where I talk about, well, random updates about the channel or other things I'm doing. Today I'll talk about one of the other things. But first, my two videos on 1920s radio have performed very well, much better than normal. The views stayed higher for longer than usual, which means I'll have more money to buy a new setup and books for research much earlier than I thought. So thank you guys so much for that, and it really does motivate me to make better documentary videos in the future. And to all the new subscribers, welcome! This is going to be a pretty short video because I only have one main update, something that I mentioned not long ago in a community post. But since not everyone reads those, I'll talk about it again here. I've restarted a blog that I originally began around 7 years ago. I wrote a handful of articles that no one read, then lost interest. I mostly wrote about my collection of historical things, mainly old photographs, letters, diaries, and military stuff. I have more interesting things to write about now, and I recently remembered that I had that old WordPress account and figured out how to log back into it. And all these years later, I have a platform of sorts with an audience, and I figured that out of those people, there's probably a few who might be interested in reading my new blog posts. But why am I not featuring that material on this channel? Well, there are a couple of reasons. One reason is that the articles will mostly not be about the 1920s. I'm interested in all kinds of history, and I've collected a lot of cool stuff over the years from various time periods, mostly the first half of the 20th century. And many of the items have some kind of story with them. I love sharing these stories, but I wasn't sure how I could get them out there. I know the audience for them, even now, will be pretty small, but I enjoy going through everything again and organizing the information into a narrative of sorts. Another reason is that I don't actually have my collection with me anymore. All of that stuff is in the US, and I moved to another country and couldn't take them with me for a number of reasons. But I do have the many hundreds of scans and transcripts I made years ago. Because while most high school and college age people were having fun between school years, going out to parties and everything, I was at home having my own version of fun, scanning and typing for 12 hours a day as part of an obsessive hobby. Right now I've been working on some short articles about my great-grandmother, covering her life from birth to marriage and family, so from the late 1800s to around 1928. Years ago, I inherited a ton of family history things, boxes and boxes of old photos and documents. Among these were a number of my great-grandmother's diaries. Yet even with all of those boxes of materials, a lot of things have been lost over the past few decades, unfortunately. But I have a lot of high-tech stuff that my ancestors didn't have, and I want to use that for preservation purposes to prevent ever losing the information that still exists. There are a lot of interesting gems in those boxes, but maybe I'm just biased because it's my own family. So far, I've made 4 posts about my great-grandmother's life, and things are starting to get more interesting now that I've made it to the years that her diaries cover. It's been very fun and enlightening cross-referencing all of the documents and photographs and making so many new connections and discoveries along the way. And when I'm finished with her life story, I'll move on to other members of her family, who also had some interesting stories to tell. I have quite a few other things worthy of short articles outside of my own family history as well, and they can't be found anywhere else. So if any of that interests you, you can check it out using the link in the description of this video or in the pinned comment. And with that, until next time, that's all for now all you sheiks and gals out there, but stay tuned for more tales from the Jazz Age.